now I get this thing of the, okay, let's wait until some people get in here now that I'm going on it just to talk to people. But, and then I can't even remember what I was talking about this morning. I'll have to think about it. Oh yeah, the chakras and stuff. And, but I just saw a video that I was so excited about. Just like, ah, I was on TikTok talking to Me23 on the DMs, like I had talked about earlier. And then, so before I said I was going to come on and do this. And before I did, I thought, well, I'm going to go and look real quick and see if anything is happening, 'cause I don't know what's happening in the world. And so I went on there to look real quick, and the very first video that popped up was talking about the QFS system. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And it's the something Republic, the uh, Republic, some kind of news people. I think it's supposed to be military, but then even when you're hearing people say that stuff, you just don't know like what's true and what's not true. And hi, Terry. I'll talk some more about the chakra thing too. I just think that is so crazy. The synchronicity or synchronistic effect. But that is what, my guides had told me. Like that there would be stuff like that. Like I just think that's interesting. It's like if they know what you or something. I don't know. But on the QFS thing, so I I've heard these other people, but I think is something Republic. I wish I could think of the name of it, but um, their news thing, and so they put out this QFS report or something. I don't know if that greetings from Washington. Oh, okay. So you're in Washington. That's why I kept wondering how far we are apart from each other. Like we need to have a meetup point if the tsunami's going to come in and crash us all. Because I'm not going to any fucking camps. I'll tell you that. Um, so the QFS thing I've heard before, but they'll say, they talk and it's like a different way that they talk. It sounds more professional or something. So I don't even know the words that they say. And they'll talk about the RV and all this stuff. But so they're saying that tomorrow starts at the bank. That's the end of it. That we're going on the QFS thing tomorrow. That there is a bunch of stuff going down. There's like arrest in Africa, like a whole bunch of stuff. The guy was just reading the report off of this Republic thing. And it always sounds legit when I hear it, but there's a lot of times when I've heard it where I thought, shit should be going on. So it's still going to be curious because it seems like shit should be going on. So I feel like I've heard this before, but anyways, it gives me hope about this weekend that this is it. Everett. Oh my gosh, we are so close. We're so close because I'm just Maple Falls. So if you don't know where that is, it's kind of like by Deming. And that's just right. Like if you went up to Bellingham and then you went out like the state highways, all the little towns as you go out, I'm out that way. But wow, we're close. We could go and meet up for coffee. Well, it would be a little bit of a jaunt, but I mean, we could sometime go and meet up for coffee if it was like a safe destination. It seems like there's no safe places. I swear to God, just driving, just to go and drive somewhere. I don't know how you're feeling down there, but it's like the drives are crazy. People are not. I don't know if they're not paying attention, if they don't care anymore, or they're just have no awareness and they're just driving crazy, especially on the five and the 405. Even though on the 90, if you get on the 90 down there, right off the 405, so all that whole area around Issaquah, Bellevue, all the whole way. As soon as I leave from here, once I get to Everett, that's always where, oh my God, there's so much traffic. I think there's no traffic out here where I am. None ever. But the people are driving so crazy and so aggressive. Oh my God, they're so aggressive. Um, but I sure hope that today, or I sure hope tomorrow it really does start. So if the banks stop it, if they could totally, because there's so much of this stuff they've been doing so different, they could totally not have it be dramatic at all. And maybe this all this drama is them trying to stop them from just turning the switch on. Because then once it goes through the QFS, because this report was saying by October 10th, we will have already gone in for our appointments and got the information about our reparations, all of the stuff that they're going to start doing that. I don't know if they would start Saturday or Sunday, or if they're going to start sending emails or something Friday. Like we should start seeing something. Something should start happening. It shouldn't just be people saying stuff. That's the thing. People can say a lot of things. We'll know something's happening when something happens. Like that's just the way it is. So hopefully we'll see some happenings this weekend. But I swear to God, I don't see how they could drag it out much more because of the goddamn same in Arizona with the driving. Arizona's got so much wild stuff going too. Are you thinking about moving out of Arizona, Terry? She wasn't crying, and now, but she did eat 3 bowls of food today. She wasn't eating, and I got her to eat some cottage cheese like that. Just gave her the cottage cheese container, and then it just had the like last bit in it, and so she ate that. And that's what's really good for dogs and diarrhea. So I don't think she has diarrhea anymore, but I still got to go out and see because I don't know what's fucking with her stomach. And then, but I gave her a bunch of rice and chicken, and I dumped out all her food from yesterday, and then. She ate 3 bowls of that. And I'm not giving her any of those one treats because I keep thinking, I wonder if it's there certain treats that she loves. Because it wouldn't surprise me. I swear to God, it wouldn't surprise me if it's in the dog treats. It wouldn't surprise me if it's in the CBD stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if every motherfucker, I cannot believe the links that you hear about these different businesses incorporate all these places where you think like they are different and that you can trust them, and then you find out they're linked also. Nestle's bought them a couple years ago and all this stuff. It's just crazy. I just saw another one the other day and I was just like, oh my God, this world is so outrageous. I would love to move to Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is on the map. I think Oklahoma is going to be because that's what. Oh, I should put on my glasses and I don't have to try and guess if I'm reading Oklahoma. Oklahoma, yeah. Except for Oklahoma, it doesn't have an A like oak. It just has got the O. It's weird. Our spelling and stuff makes no fucking sense at all. Sometimes I just really get caught up on the words because sometimes like I'll post something, even sometimes the names, because the names just as I'm there's a cat trying to come in. Or as I'm posting or downloading, right when I finish, the name will just come into my head, what I should label it or whatever. And there's so many times when I'll read it and then I'll be like, oh my God, you could take this in so many different ways. It is all in how you perceive those certain words, what they mean to you, and how the words put together, what it means to you. It's really weird because I don't know. I think we've all noticed like the communication gap when you just text somebody. Like there's always so much misunderstanding. Um, hello, me 23. Hello. Me 23 has been going through it. And I swear every time that we get pushed, anytime you got always be just thinking this is for your challenges because we can't change anybody else. Even if we got to see them just go down the drain, I just keep on thinking about it's for your growth. It's for your growth. And so I am at David, Arizona. It's bad. Oh, is it really bad? They're doing so much shit too with the immigration and stuff. And all of that just really pisses me off because it's another way. Everything is so backward because we should legitimately be able to move freely around the earth. There should not be anyone overseeing us. And that guy also said that when we go in for this appointment this weekend or next week or whatever, before the 10th, if this all goes down like what they say, then it changes our ID. I think that's when you get like a quantum phone and stuff. Like there should be a whole thing that goes on But anyways, oh, what the hell was I saying? Is oh my God, what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, because the immigration thing. Because with all these people coming in, and these people are from like some places are like so third world. Like they've had to go out and build a house out of wood and clay and rocks and like they know how to do this shit. Like watch some of the videos of what these people can do. Like they know how to do this shit. They don't need to fucking go into a city. They know how to grow their own food. They are being placed there. They're being lured there. Just like we were lured there. And they're being lured there. And they're trying to lure them there because they want people to lose their goddamn minds so that they can start the civil war. And the tensions are building. And when it's not building, the people are getting so mad because over money, over resources, over tax. It's all to just bring this big, huge buildup. And like, that's another thing. Like, I knew there was going to be shit going down in the big cities, but I didn't see it going like this. Fuck. Like, just bring a fucking shit ton of more people everywhere. But then when you look at it on a spiritual thing, you know, on the thing about moving people into a safer place and stuff. But if they were really trying to do the right thing for people, they would be, you know, taking them out to rural areas or places where towns are kind of becoming dilapidated or something, and giving them opportunities to build their own communities and stuff. Just like Yakima, when I go to Yakima, Washington, it is so built by the migrants. The migrants have gone out there, and it's a fucking cool town. It's just like going a little bit like Mexico. It's really cool. I like it. But there's other things there too. There's even fucking Starbucks. I mean, it's pretty big. There's businesses and shit. It's not little tiny. But that's the thing. That's what builds things up. But they don't want that right now. They want to destroy us. And they don't even want us to build anything up. They want to put us in 15-minute cities. It's so aggravating because you know, we should be able to move freely. And so they're kind of putting that in a bad taste in people's mouths. But also, that is so you have to question things to your core because you should see like the freedom. You know, like these people should be able to move around. It shouldn't be somebody said something about, well, they should have to do it legally. And well, I went on and looked at their thing and I thought, okay, this isn't a real person because legally that means that we have to follow the man's rules. And I don't want man's rules over me. I don't want their laws. I'm not going to follow them. That puts you into a system, like a matrix, a controlled system. As soon as you go in and participate, then you are like enslaved to it. It's like, no. But we have to, and that's why they don't want people going out and going and starting. If they were going out and just dropping all these immigrants out in all these flyover zones and they were going and building up cool cities, then we would be able to see like the possibilities. Look, we can just go somewhere and just build up a city. We don't need to go goddamn cities and fight over jobs and shit. They don't want us to see, you know, the opportunity, the possibilities. They want to keep us so limited in our view of things. It's so ridiculous. Let's see what the. Let me put on my glasses more. In the middle of Tennessee, everyone is moving here. It's oh, I betcha. 'Cause Tennessee, yeah, that is definitely a draw. I think over here on this side, there is a big draw over. Well, a lot of people have been drawn to Texas, but I grew up in Texas. I'm way more drawn. Oh, I would be drawn to Louisiana, except for it's going to be underwater. But then when you look over there, like Alabama, Kentucky, and Tennessee, those are all big draws to a lot of people, I think, over here. I think a lot of people are in Georgia. So many people. It's weird too because I'll see TikToks and stuff where people are like all these Californians moving over to places what they would have thought were all like totally southern, total. And when you know living in California, like there's certain states that get kind of a bad rap or certain ways that people talk. Like I think there's so much judgment all across this goddamn nation over. You know, you got these people judging these people over this and over dialect, over so much stupid stuff. And it's all just created. It's just created. And It's just a part. And if you notice how much in movies that they try and make people into like caricatures so that we are so judgy, so we are judgy of different people. But it's weird because I think California was so judgy of that side, especially down south, southeast. I think that they were judgy, and now it's funny because now they're all moving down to the south, all moving out to southeast. It's weird, but people gotta see. I think one of the big draws too is it's more conservative. It's just more, white bread, milk, and more. It isn't the same. Like California, one thing when I was in California that I noticed is like people don't just go out to the grocery store unless they go get fixed up. Like everybody's got to be showing off somehow all the time. Nobody can just be like relaxed. Everybody's on. And so I don't know. I think that is a big draw to go to places that are just like more relaxed, where people are more relaxed, people are more friendly. People don't have this such a shallow, superficial, I think, in California. And I think it's just kind of like the West Coast, really. They all have kind of their own like edge. Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, all of them have, it's like, but it's all judgmental too. Um, Middle of town, soldiers ready to be activated. I like the way that looks. Soul dyers. Yeah, that whole thing with the whole of the people they're bringing over, all of those immigrants, those soldiers and stuff, but a lot of them are already instigating violence and stuff in a lot of areas. I think they have been for a long time. In that one video too that I had seen of that guy in New York who was talking to that Venezuelan guy, and he was asking him, "What do you think about all these Venezuelans all of a sudden coming?" I mean, what are they going into these countries and just saying, "Hey, everybody load up. We're taking everybody over to America, or we're taking everybody to," because it's whole big giant things of all these uh like how do I don't know. There's so much weirdness to this whole thing. But they're going to um he said that because of Venezuela is so crime ridden and all of the people all work for the cartel and stuff, he said that we have really, really bad guys coming over here and they're going to start doing really horrific crimes and stuff. But I think that they already have been. And I think that it's going to probably, because I was one thing too. Trump kept talking about that and talking about that. And they kept acting like he was some sort of racist and stuff. But there was all this stuff that has been going on. He was saying it, he was telling us ahead of time. The whole reason he could tell us ahead of time is because of Looking Glass. You know that. Because, and I think that is, but see, people don't even think about that stuff because they don't think about the, Cumberland. Lots of illegals here. Tobacco, corn, and hemp. Oh. So, did you have a lot of illegals there before? That they were already there, or they're all coming there right now? Because that definitely sounds like it would be a smaller town. And that is how Yakima got built up, because it was small farming place, and all the migrants came in to work the fields. They would come in and do the apple orchards. I think there's strawberries and apples and stuff, and they would come and work and just do seasonal work and then go back home and then live. Like, fuck, that is the way we should all be living, not working all the goddamn time. I don't know how they sold us into thinking we're better than other people because we get to work all the time. We just work and work and work 'cause we're so good. I was like, so stupid. And now there's way more. Uh, yeah, but see, that to me also, buying big houses and all living together. See, that is like communal living. See, there's something about they have more of like a tribal mentality. I think in America they've done so much to kind of cut that out of us, to think like that there's something wrong with living like that. But to me, it's like, look at that. They can go get a bigger house. They can get bigger yard. They can learn how to live together and divide up chores and shit. It's like having a village in your own house. The legal ones buy the houses. All that whole house buying thing is corrupt as fuck. Anyways, the banking system's corrupt as fuck. I just saw a thing. This lady was talking about. She was a Oriental lady, and she was saying that in America, that they would give the Oriental people. I don't want to say Asian anymore because Oriental people loans so that they could start businesses, but they wouldn't give it to them to start in white neighborhoods. They had to start them in black neighborhoods. And then it kept them beat down, but then they also kept the black people beat down because they wouldn't give the black people loans to start their own businesses in their own communities. They would give these other people who were leaving their communities to come and start businesses in theirs. You see how they jack this shit around? It's all they're playing these games. They do it all on purpose. And they always have been trying. I saw that when I was a teenager, what they did in Dallas and stuff, because I would have not really thought about it, except for they did the whole big desegregation. And so then it was like, what do you mean desegregation? What are we doing here? And they were saying like all the black kids weren't getting good education. So they had to take all the kids from downtown Dallas, the inner city schools, and go to the suburban schools and give them a better education. So we're not going to fix up their education. We're not going to do anything about that. It's all just games, games, games. And then they start all this racial tension with all these other people. It started such bullshit. But I definitely saw how they like contain them. Like they contain certain people on reservations, but they contain other people on in the ghettos. They hold them there, and it is they don't give them hope. They don't give them a way out, and then you wonder why there's so much crime and stuff. I thought the boys, I think it was the boys in the hood. I thought it really showed that, like how do you give people no hope and then put a liquor store and a gun store on every corner and then think it's going to go well? Like they don't have money, they don't have hope. Let me see. I'm going to have to go let her into I Me Grant. And the thing about because even my grandpa was an immigrant to come over here, and I don't think that you had to jump through the hoops. Like, I think that they registered people when they came over on some of those ships, but I think that there wasn't all these hoops like they're trying to make us all jump through to travel. But that guy did say, like, this, if they do that this weekend or whenever they do it, whenever they put us on the QFS, in the new passport thing, we will have like an open citizenship. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be more of an identification, but still, who's going to be there working to check our identifications and stuff? Like, I they keep getting more and more people to try and oversee us. They get ICE. They get the fucking one of those fucking ones at the airport. They just keep going. Now they got the new IRS. They got all these motherfuckers. They just keep getting more and more people. And who can't quit going and taking these goddamn jobs? Like everybody wants to just police everybody else. No, we got to start saying fuck off. We don't need any more police. We don't need y'all. We don't need y'all telling us what to do. That's what we don't need. Bunch of fucking bored rich people who want to fucking set rules for all of us. They need to go follow some goddamn rules. I think my glasses are really scratched up. Hybrids connected to running on 5G. Yeah, that is definitely running some people. On one now. Oh, that isn't that trippy about the words and stuff. Had an NWO one own now. Huh, that's interesting. One own now, but no, the NWO, no, because no one's supposed to, they don't want us to own anything. They want us to own nothing and be happy. They start telling us that a couple generations ahead, you'll own nothing and be happy. Oh, I don't think that's going to work. People are unhappy and they own nothing. Most of the people, like, we don't own anything. It's all an illusion. We don't own shit. They can come in and take anything away. They can come in and burn your house down and then say you don't own your land. Everything in their system is so corrupt. I just saw another thing that was talking about the corruption built around the mortgage companies. And it is so fucking corrupt. Stella, do you want to come in? Come on. Come in if you want to come in. Stella, come on. I swear, I don't know if she is just getting, maybe she's getting senile. I don't know. She'll just lay there crying. And I don't know why. But she was being quiet there for a while. But the whatever, and what the guy also said, wasn't the NWO that there was a bunch of arrests. Oh, he was saying that there's been a lot of arrests. There's been all these tribunals. Well, he wasn't saying, he was reading the report. There's been all these tribunals since January 21, and that they are, which I think that they have a lot of politicians and stuff. I think that they've already met their conclusion. I think like probably that one even on the news the other day that was Nancy supposedly, that she and she said she's a reptilian and then started laughing. I think that probably is, I don't know, it could be somebody in a mask. It could be a CGI. It could be somebody in a mask. It's so, it's kind of interesting to see how this starts playing out on the media because I don't know, you would think they would know if they're interviewing CGI, like, but maybe they're CGI. Maybe a lot of the news people are just robots. Maybe that's why they always seem like robots. It's because they are robots. I don't know. I think this whole thing is just so strange. But I mean, think what. So I'll talk some more about the chakra thing then. So because when you're moving up the chakras, you will yeah, you will have some reactions inside your body. And I think that especially while they've got all this sickness going on, and then with the towers and stuff, like that's where I would have to just keep sitting there and trying to figure out like, is this something from the towers? Is this like my heart chakra? Is this something I need to focus on? Is this, and anytime that I have any question, I'll just go get some cayenne pepper, because the cayenne pepper, you can just take a little bit and it can stop a heart attack or whatever. So you would be able to tell because you would see something that would happen different. Or if you drink, I don't know, I think the dandelion root or dandelion tea may be a more of a long term, like you have to do it regularly all the time. But the cayenne pepper can stop a heart attack. So the cayenne pepper, if you are feeling a bunch of weird sensations in your chest, because they can also turn up those fucking towers and it starts giving you these weird feelings in your chest where I think they're trying to make people think they're having a heart attack so they can get them in the hospital. And it wouldn't surprise me if they were messing with things so that people thought they were having a heart attack when they weren't. Because I just saw another thing. What was it? Something about a hospital thing. And I was like, they've got to be doing some of this shit on purpose. It is just, but I think we're going to keep seeing more and more and more of that kind of. Stella, if you want to come in, come in. What is it? See how she's so dramatic? Oh, God. She is very dramatic. Every time I ever say anything to my kids, they're always like, well, Stella's pretty dramatic. She's pretty dramatic, Mom. She is pretty dramatic, but all of them are. Oh, let's see. Mortgage. Yeah, it is. Your fucking mortgage is just like your death. It's just like anchor you down. And it is so God. When the evidence just keeps coming in and coming in and coming in, and the stuff around mortgages and loans and the banking system and oh my gosh, all of the developers, the planners, the city planners, the ones on the boards, the HOAs, like, oh my God, it's all so fucking corrupt. And people just keep on playing it. His one girl, I just saw her a video, I don't know when, but she was saying that her and her husband had bought their house a few years ago for 160 or something like that, $1,000. And she said then like the next year it went up. The same thing that happened at mine. And they just jack it up to where nobody can afford houses. And mine was rural. So when I bought mine, and it was further out, like if you were in Bellingham, it was so expensive. You can't buy a house there. You have to go further out. And so then I come out here and get one, and then they come out here and jack up the prices. Then they come out here and start building all these, I think they call them spec homes, because the people aren't coming out and ordering like what they want, the countertops they want and stuff. They're just making these homes, and it used to not be like that. And that is all a part of the corruption and stuff. And like you have to go in and listen to them explain it. But oh my God. All, what it does to us is it just hurts us. It just keeps jacking up the prices where people can't afford stuff, and it's all a part of what their foreclosure. But see, it's gonna backfire on them now. I think that's the thing with the Airbnb stuff. Is something about the way they set those loans up was based on how much money they were gonna get. I don't even know. There's weird ways they set up all these different loans, but the Airbnb is gonna be a huge what is that? Unit batterer? I don't know what that even means or says. Like, maybe, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure why somebody is saying that. So, anyways, I don't know what that is. But, what was I saying? Was I saying something about the chakras? Something about the money? If the money, so on the weekend thing, I hope it's this weekend and we start getting notified. Fuck, I hope it's tomorrow. God, that will be such a relief. It'll be such a relief with me with the housing thing, because then I can just be like, phew, don't even have to fucking worry about that again. Because that is gonna, it's gonna be so good. Oh, but I saw somebody pulling up the debt, or the debt clock or whatever, and it I think someone is sending you love. Oh, is that what that is? Is that what that means? Because I don't know what that means. I didn't know if it was like some kind of like a political thing or something. I was like, oh, I don't want to get involved in some sort of crazy political thing. Hey, come on. So, come on. I want to be done with politics. I want to be done with the government. I want all of that to be done with. I swear. So you think, well, then if that's what it means, I'll have to look it up now. I'm going to take a screenshot. Hold on. Then I can know what the word is. None of the comments, because I thought that I would be able to go in and read the comments, but the comments don't go onto the video. So they're just right here. I don't know. I haven't watched any of the live videos, so I don't know if you can see this part. Like you can see the writing on there. I don't know. I guess that would make more sense. Otherwise, the person is just sitting here. I don't know. I don't watch live videos really. When I watched them live, they were live. Like they were live while I was watching them. So I don't know, because that drives me crazy when when the people start doing that, like reading all of the different things and just talking to the people and stuff. But now I get why, as it's fun. But I don't want to just watch somebody else do it. There is a way to download the chat on the video. Oh, huh. See, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. That's interesting. Let's see if I can see. Save highlights. I don't know what that means. Mute the microphone. Don't want that. I don't know. But anyways, I had just seen that there was some comments, and I was like, oh, I wanted to go read some because I couldn't tell if some of the ones where people were talking to each other or they were asking me something. So I was like, oh, I will read them later, and then but then they weren't there, and I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for the download to complete. It took for fucking ever, and then by the time it did, I went in to look, and there wasn't the comments. There was a couple of comments of I don't know. I guess because you guys can see the video before I can see it, so you can go in and comment. So you guys can watch it as soon as this is over. Then it's available to watch. But to me, it doesn't show anything. And so there was a couple of comments in that period of time, but all the other comments, those were all gone. So, anyways, that was a bummer. So I was going to read them. So I'll have to see if I can figure out how to download chat on the video. Huh. That's good to know that part. So, okay. So if the money thing does go this weekend, which I hope, then it is supposed to be that they are going to call you in and change over your thing. You're supposed to get something like you'll see maybe about your money that you'll get your value or something. I can't imagine they're just going to turn around and give people, $1 million. I think that maybe it would be, I don't know, we got to just see because it would make sense to me that it would be some sort of a pay thing. Like you would be like a regular pay thing every month. But then they have to, there is like a whole world that they have to keep running. But I think that is going to be where we are going to have an appreciation for AI because I think AI is going to step in and do a lot of stuff that, like right now, it's like, oh my God, they're going to take my job. How am I going to live? But when it gets down to it, where it's like, oh my God, I don't have time to go to work. I got to go live. Then it's going to be different. And it's like, we're going to be like, hell yeah, AI can do all the work. But there still is a sense of work that a person has to do to take care of themselves. Like you can't ever get out of touch with whatever it is that you do to take care of you, of your active survival, um, your active way of keeping yourself going. You know what I'm saying? They're sending extra emojis on the comments. Roll up. And we don't see them. Okay, so they're sending extra emojis. So the comments roll up and we don't see them. Oh, so you guys can't see the you guys can't see the comments? Welcome to the chat. Remember to guard your privacy. You guys can see the writing of the stuff that people are saying. Can't you? Like if it's live, yeah, that's where I used to always go into the live chats. Yeah, I scrolled back up, but I don't see anything that says I can save it. It says I can learn how to guard my privacy, learn more. I don't see anything about saving anything. Maybe at the end it will ask me, do you want to save? I don't know. There's probably just more things. Let's see what this says. Live chat. All messages are visible. Some messages, such as potential spam, may not be visible. Chat viewing options. Top chat and live chat. Hide all chat. Huh. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if people like want to go in and watch videos that are live. Like yesterday, I couldn't believe that one was 2.5 hours. The time goes way faster. It goes way faster too in the day just to have somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? Because God, some of these days are we done. I just hope to God, I really hope that this is it. Like things will really start making big moves. My nose is so fucking runny. It has just been so runny all day. There will be big moves if the banking thing goes down. There'll be big moves in the government and the truth, the trials. Like right now, where it just seems like this like stuff keeps seeping out or coming out. It will make it's gonna make huge changes. It's gonna be huge. So God, that's gonna be so nice. I sure hope. And then I still don't know. I mean, they're piling so many immigrants in here. Like, because the army could stop it, you know? I mean, it's like a show. Like, there's a whole show going on. I just saw a whole thing about back when, you remember when Trump was first in office? Like, it was back in the days when I hated him. And they kept being on the news and saying, he was putting kids in cages and all that stuff. And so then, we were all thinking, oh my God, how horrible. And it would show these cages and all that stuff. And then to come to find out, those were Obama's cages and stuff. But this person was just reading a report or something. So when Trump had all of them separated from their parents and stuff, he was doing DNA testing. He was checking to see if those were really their parents. And I don't remember what the percentage rate was, but I know it was most of the kids were not with a relative or a parent. And so he was trying to stop the trafficking thing. But see, we weren't even having the awareness of what was going on. Everything is so you know, whatever. It kind of reminds me of that like need to know thing, but they didn't think that we needed to know anything. And so we're all just oblivious. But they didn't want us to be paying attention to the stuff they were doing because they're all committing crimes with these moving these kids around and stuff like that. God, I swear. Sometimes I feel like a worm is going to just come crawling out of my nose. I swear to God, I don't even want to sniff back. And I just did. It was automatic. And I wish I didn't. Because what if it was a worm and it was almost out? I swear to God, it feels like something is crawling down the side of my nose. Like, God, it's eerie. Now my mind is going to keep thinking about that. But that is the thing, is that they have no rights to tell us where to be, where to go, how to live, or anything. So all these immigrants are like really living like free. Like they should be able to go around and stuff. They should be able to move around the planet without the government telling them. And so I swear it's got to be a part of this thing is to wake us up to that. But it wakes up a lot of people to their anger, their biases. And but that is a big part of you've got to see your own biases. Because when it wakes you up and you think, well, I'm better than them and they shouldn't be here and they should have to jump through hoops and stuff like that in order to do it. Like we start coming up with the rules that we think that they should follow because of our thinking that we're better than somebody else or that they should have to be bossed around or controlled. Because really, I mean, none of us want to be bossed around or controlled or told where we can go, when we can go, how fast we can go to get there, all this bullshit. So it shouldn't be that, when we come down to it, that is a freedom that we all want. We all want to be able to, so we should be standing up. To me, we should be standing up for the rights of the immigrants. They should be able to roam freely. I think the problem, though, is what they're doing is trying to overrun the cities and start a civil war. So, and then you got all these angry people who, are on their biases and stuff and they don't realize it. And so I'm sure they're going to have some fighting and some war. And then you have the instigator guys that are there, and then you have the people who buy the pallets of bricks and set them out. So it's all just this whole setup thing to do all that. But really, it should be that the immigrants should be able to move freely. Like, look at how many countries they're all going through. Do they even have papers? Like, they're going through all these countries just fast as shit. And they're not using airplanes to get around. Like, there's a lot of things about this whole thing. Like, they are walking all these different ways, hitching a ride on trains, digging little jaunts on boats and shit. And here we are all going to the airport, standing in lines, getting our fucking x-ray to get on, having them checking, feeling us up. Like it's, and then getting gouged at the airport and bossed around, told what we have to put these on, put those on. And you know what I was thinking about the other day too? The difference of when I very first started flying and how it has become. God, that first airplane, I think it was the first airplane I went on when I went to London. And it was an international flight. It was back in 78. And it could have even been 78, 79, I think. And it was a big, giant airplane. Huge. Like fucking so huge. It was 2 stories. And it was like the other story was like the lounge or something. Like we couldn't go up there because we were kids. But the place was huge. We're running around this giant ass airplane. And it was like still a long ass flight. But and our seats were way bigger, and they always gave you food. You get a whole meal. It's just as crazy. Now they charge you more. They put you in close quarters. They confine everybody. Like this whole concept where the seats leaned back. It used to not lean back onto somebody. I just saw a whole breakdown in the airplane over that happening. Some lady laid back because she's got back issues and laid back onto some guy, and he lost his mind. And it's like it's nuts, but we shouldn't be living like that. It shouldn't be how we are living. And we should be able to like see that this is not the way to live. But fuck, those people are just goddamn walking. I bet they don't have good shoes. Probably wearing the same fucking outfit. I bet they're not, well, where am I gonna go to the bathroom? Well, where am I gonna sleep? Well, how am I supposed to do that? Well, what if there's bugs? Like go try and take your American kids to walk fucking across the goddamn world. It would be a nightmare. You can't even walk around Disneyland without whining and complaining. So I think, I think there's a lot we can learn from that. Just the fact that they are doing it, that should show us. I don't think that they are going through these countries and going into immigration and showing their papers so that they can pass through each one. They're just going and doing what they want. Like, can we just go and we just start walking? We'll just walk down and we'll just go walk into Mexico. We're not going to go through the border control. We're just going to walk in, walk along the beach, walk along the coast. I bet you that there's fucking armed guards. Like, I've been to Mexico. There's fucking the police drive around in machine guns and jeeps. So they drive around on the beaches and everything. And it's very intimidating. So I can't, these people obviously just get a walk the whole way, don't have anything to worry about. Fuck, it's so set up. I swear to God. And then, but anyways, on the brighter side of it, we should be able to see like that all should have that freedom. We should all be able to move freely. We should be able to walk if we want to walk wherever we want to go, take a boat, train, whatever. Oh, and this old movie too I was watching the other day, and can't remember what it was because there was something more specific about it, but it was them traveling on trains. I was like, man, that is how everybody used to just travel on trains. And then they started doing the airplane, but I think the airplane thing is fake too. I swear to God, there's something fake about it. I swear. It wouldn't surprise me if we're just going on some sort of ride. And then they just have these things up in the air that just go by sometimes. And we think that they're people going places, but it's really not. Everybody's just in some sort of simulator. They're just getting bounced around and then they're out released in some other reality or something. I saw this girl do this video I thought was so cool because she was out at like the tide pools of some ocean. And so all these stones had all these holes, and all the holes had all this complete, its own little world, its own little life going on inside. And she was saying this is like what the earth is like, and all of these realms and everything. And that is exactly, everything is just all these little different realities and realms and stuff. And whatever they've done to try and combine these ones, because I don't think that I don't know if they were always combined. Like, I wonder if they were all always under the firmament or something, or if some of these ones were out and, because it's just, I don't know. It's just so weird how there's like whole giant nations of all the same kind of people, like a planet. And then here, where they're trying to control it and do something, and then they keep trying to take all these people. Well, I think they make them, and then they do take them. They take them, and then they lure them. They do a lot of luring, but they do go and just take people from other places. I mean, they're doing that right now. But I don't know. It's just kind of weird, especially being in America and being American, and especially like because white people, we have no culture, we have no heritage, we have a whole lot of, there's nothing. And then the holidays and everything is all superficial and shallow. Everything that is marketed to us, all our food, everything, our programming, the TV stuff, the stuff that people go and chase, what people think is a success. What even with love, what people thought of was love, everything was so shallow and superficial, and it's just like what people were willing to accept. So it's, I just feel like all this stuff has got to change. People got to see different and stuff. And I can't believe how many trucks keep going by. It's so weird. I feel like everything is weird. Everything is definitely weird. It doesn't ever get less weird. It only gets more weird. That's one thing. Is things have gotten progressively weirder. It has never gone backwards. It just keeps going forwards. It's like you have to. I noticed this one thing with the healing. It's like you can't jump forward and heal something that you're not ready to heal. You have to go through all this different healing to get yourself ready for the next step. And it is like that on all of the, everything is like, it's a preparation for what's to come. Everything is getting you ready for what is ahead. And then if you're not paying attention, if you're not doing, if you're not being present, but your guides know when you're not present, that's when they'll like you have a car wreck or something. But it's not like them. It's not like you can ever go off. It was always going to happen. The way it's going to happen is you make sure to pull yourself back in, having a car wreck or something like that. But anyways, I wanted to say about the money thing still is because when the when it goes, and it's going to take the prices way back. Oh yeah, because that guy was looking at the our debt calculator, like the government debt calculator. And I had seen this, so it's been saying this for a while. But when you go over to the part where it says, the dollar value ratio for oil and for gold and for silver, it says 0, 0, 0, 0. And but this morning when I saw that video, I was like, that is so weird because I'm buying silver right now. Like I've already sent the money. I'm waiting for them to send the silver back. And so you can use this fake money. That's the thing is you can use that fake money right now to buy something real. And but it's weird because on there it says that it doesn't have any value. So this is like a loophole. And I felt like Trump was doing this the whole time. Like this is back when I was watching Beach Broadcast and she kept saying stuff like that and pointing out. And there was a few people I watched back then, but then I was like, you can see, yeah, he would come to things and he would have silver hair and he would drop hints and stuff like that. Like he's made sure that we've had lots of opportunity, but you have to be paying attention. It's like for the people who have been paying attention, there's going to be a reward. And I think that is what I keep talking about is that reward when people get that part that is going to be the draw for other people to want to live differently, to change their life, to start feeling better, healing, living more proactively instead of reactively. And so that makes such huge changes in how you feel about things and how you feel about life and stuff. But I just feels like this immigration thing, like there's more than one thing going, and it is going to kind of open up the whole thing. And so it's weird too, is how that guy had said that we would be going in and doing our getting our passports and our new IDs, because something with the new ID is going to be very specific to you, and that is where I would think, like, I wonder if we would be scanned. Would there be people who would say, well, I don't want to be scanned, I don't want that, and they're already so scared of this financial thing, and they don't have any idea what to expect, so then they're going to be scared, they're not going to want to do it, because if they do a scan thing, it would be like a frequency scan, like to scan your frequency, your vibration or something. I think is that is what the quantum thing is going to be about, is kind of us learning to control our energy and frequency or something. Like it's something about all of that. And like, because the spacecraft or whatever, like the craft that you think like the other beings are moving around in, it's like organic. It is like they are a part of the machine, kind of. And that's what I'm always talking about, like with the shoes and with the cars and stuff like that. Like there's something more to it. Like if they were trying to block something. They were definitely trying to block something with shoes, but also there's something weird about the cars and the rubber tires and stuff, because like I know I cannot be the only one who you feel like you have kind of an energetic connection with your car. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just really weird or something, but I feel like there is an energetic communication. There's something that goes on between us and the cars that isn't just the car. There's an energetic transfer. There's something going on about how we move and maneuver and stuff. And but we don't know it. See, we don't see it. But then they're going more and more into this, like the cars driving themselves and stuff. And oh, another thing too is a lot of these big fire things are also being in places with all this lithium, which is strange because that is what they're trying to move us into. And that kind of makes you think, well, would that be like the White Hats? But the White Hats wouldn't go in and just fucking blow up a whole goddamn city, unless I guess they went and evacuated the city and then made it a whole big show and put in players to fight the government and talk about how they were trapped in there and then hold the people. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, how do we fucking know anything? I swear to God. It's all such, it's like we live in this giant charade. Like, you can't sit and stress out about it too much or worry about it too much because it's all fucking show. It's just a big old fucking show. You just got your passport, like your first passport. Um, because I've got a passport, but there's this new passport thing I think is gonna be we gonna open up how we travel. Your car gets up if I'm not right. Your car. Oh, yeah. See, I swear to God, there is. And even when I'm driving, when I'm going around those mountain roads and stuff like that, when I get like into it and I'm moving with that, like there's just a movement, and it reminds me of like when I was a teenager and I was going out with all those race car drivers and stuff, and they would ride motorcycles, and I'd be on the back of the motorcycle, and they'd tell me like how you just ride with, you just move with it. And so that always reminds me of it when I'm driving the car. But it is, I just think there's something to it. Like I think that when we have accidents is when we're not in sync with it or something. But when we're in sync with it, we're moving. Like you can sense things. It's when we're not, when we're distracted, when we're not paying attention or something, and we're out of sync of our own energy. Like it's a bigger thing to maneuver a car around. And there's just more to it than just, get a license and go drive. There is, there's a I don't know. There is a melding of the energies, but supposedly that's the whole thing about this spacecraft and whatnot, or the big things. But you move them kind of like with your mind and with your energy or something. So that is like the quantum. We're moving more into that kind of whole thing. Oh yeah, and he said something that I'm constantly saying, and it was in this report that he was reading. And he said, we're going to go from the Flintstones to the Jetsons like overnight. I keep saying that and saying that. I think we're going to go. It's going to be like that because they've kept us so much in the dark ages, and they kept us so confined and the refined. They've kept us so controlled and contained and stuff in our minds and stuff. And so this giant expansion of technology is going to be, it is going to take us such a huge thing. And that's why, like, I think so much is going to change how we live, how we eat, how we work. Like, there's going to be so much change that's going to go on, and it's going to be really cool because we're going to get to finally have that freedom to go out and to really go and live our lives, to go out and experience what life is really supposed to be about, not this, telling it we're all lab rats and tell us like this is the best life ever. This is how you want to live. And then all of a sudden, we finally get to get out and we're out in the fields and the forest and stuff. And now we get to see like, oh my God, there's so much possibilities. There's so much, so much available for us to go out and experience. But that all this stuff is, we've got to release their control. So I'm sure the fuck not going to be like, fuck those immigrants. They need to get home. They should be controlled. They should be arrested. They should be, fuck that. They should not be arrested. Get goddamn rid of these cops. We don't need these people out doing that. We need to open up. We need to open our minds. We need to open up communities. We need to allow people to move around. And this is going to be an uncomfortable shift. Like, this is going to be a big shifting around. But don't forget, we're all going to be shifting too. I've seen so many people are moving out of the United States. So, maybe there's going to be a lot of people are going to move into it. And a lot of us are going to be moving out. Like, I have a big draw to like Scotland. I really want to go to Scotland. There are so many places I'm going to go out and experience. I want to fucking get back to Egypt. I swear to God. And then I'm so curious about now where they keep doing all this, digging up these mounds and shit and saying Egypt may be in Georgia or something, or Alabama. I don't know what the fuck. Everything, but wherever it was, from to me, I feel like I was more over like by the pyramids because I had such a draw to that when I was a kid. I was like desperate to get over there to Egypt. I was planning my trip. I had to get over there. I had no idea why, but I feel like that is where I feel drawn to. And so, anyways, I want to go there. I've always wanted to go there. There's so many places to go out and experience. And then I also want to get, a little farm area, a little place down, some acreage down by where my girls are, because then I have a place to stay. And then plus, they can all build up their own houses in their own places and stuff. And it's a great community for farming and stuff. So I don't know. I think that would be a good place. But there's gonna be so many good places. There's like, it's such an illusion for them to get us to think there's not enough for everybody. Is to just keep us fighting, and they're trying to push that so hard right now. But all the newer people coming, even though they're crowding them in all these places and stuff, if they weren't doing it to try and just create this civil war, if they were doing it in a normal way, but I still feels like, fuck, this has got to have something to do with trying to get people in safer places. Like, I really, really, I need to get like like how those crime people, they'll put the big map up there and they got all the pieces of yarn and pins and stuff. Do that, like where people are coming from and what happens to have the doomsday map over there, the storms, tracking it all, putting it all together, getting it all figured out. That's just, it's I don't know. That would be something to pass the time. But I'm hoping the time's about to take a big old giant quantum leap, quick big old shift in time. If the fucking banks go down, I swear to God, this is gonna be so fucking good. I mean, there's gonna be people losing their goddamn minds. There's gonna be people going crazy. There's people going crazy over the immigration. You know, it's like, so we want the government to control us. We don't want to be able to move freely. And fuck. So, anyways, I'm gonna see what is being said here. You got your passport. My car accident, right? Everything is electromagnetic. Yeah, everything is. It is so much about the energy you're putting out is coming back. I don't know, Zach, Zex Cap. Hey, Granny. I don't know if I know you, but hey, you need to go into the Philippines. Yeah, see, the Philippines, Bali. I want to go to Thailand. There's so many places. And I think that there's going to be so much about that opening up to be able to just go and travel around and go out and experience. Hi, I am fine. Oh, so you're from Iceland, but living in Russia. Okay, so I want to know over in Russia then, if they're going back on the gold standard. So supposedly they're already on the gold standard. So supposedly they've already made these changes. So what do you see over there? And if you're from another country, how does that affect you? Because is Iceland, are they a part of BRICS? Are they a part of, have you seen anything about the quantum financial system in, your life? You know what I'm saying? What are you laughing about, me 23? I think you're always laughing. You're always LOLing or laughing. But anyways, I am curious about that with Russia and Iceland because they keep on talking about because all of these BRICS nations and they are all going on to the gold standard. And especially when people try and say that about China, that they're going to be attacking us and stuff like that. They're part of the BRICS nation. They can't. There's a whole peace treaty that is all part of the show. You have to sign this whole peace treaty. Like anybody can go look it up about Nasara, Gosara, the BRICS nation, how the old gold thing, the old gold standard thing is all about this peace treaty and peace on earth and goodwill to men. That's what we're going for. Why did you move from a place like Iceland to, I think Russia looks like it's beautiful. Hi. I think Russia looks like it's like beautiful. I just saw a thing the other day talking about their buildings and they have those like weird kind of top things, but it's all like this energy thing or something and that there's like a lot with gold. I think Russia. I wonder if like I don't know the history of Russia, and I don't even know if they get their true history. Like, does anyone on the planet get the true history, or is there only like these certain leaders that all of a sudden came around who was like, we got to start telling the people the truth. This isn't bullshit. And I wonder if it was the whole reason that the truth is even coming out is because the cataclysm, because them not moving people, it could be them not moving people, could be wiping out tons of people. And the other people, they want to do that. They want to wipe out whole entire cities and whole entire countries and stuff in storms. They like killing people. That's their joy. I know. So, fuck, I don't know. But, let's see what the Russia is a very great country for living. Only hard things for me is language. Oh, yeah, I have a bunch of, when I would go up to the food bank, there'd always be tons of Russians up there. And so I would always be trying to listen and try and figure out, like if I could figure out what they were saying. And I always think it is so cool how people, like these cultures, these groups of people have their own language. I think it's so fucking cool. I can see why the, powers that be don't like it though, why they want to, control us into their language. But Iceland, you guys have like, isn't that kind of like Gaelic or something? Or isn't that like a certain, it's different too, isn't it? That's what I thought. But can you, do you see things about the financial thing? Are you seeing things changing there? Is there changes in like how people work? Or it used to be when I was a kid, they made like Russia was the worst place in the whole wide world. All the people were peasants. They were all poor. They all had to stand out in bread lines for days, and there was cold, and they're all just in wool wraps and waiting for just one little loaf of bread to take it home to a family of 12, and they'd all have to share this bread. And then I don't think it was like that. I think that was made up. I don't know. It, Russia's beautiful. Yeah, St. Petersburg is one of the most prettiest cities I've ever seen. The living situation there is awful. Is it like the housing situation? You know, it was like that in the. It was like that in the 90s with the bread problems and being so poor. So see, all these things had to change, but is there changes now? Are you seeing? Because now it keeps seeming like if they're on the BRICS thing and they're changing the gold standard and they're going against the crime and they're going to start giving back to the people. I don't know how fast it's all going to go. Maybe they have to wait until all the countries are on board and then we're going to all start getting money. But I thought that's what I'm curious about is in some of these other countries, are y'all already getting money? It was like the night after the fall of the Soviet Union, the economy was a mess. That's what they were always, when I was in school, they would always make like, and then also, they make like, oh, they're all a bunch of peasants and they're poor, but they're the biggest fear we've got. They're going to kill us. They're all going to kill us. So, like, that is kind of absurd, really. Like, they're all poor. They don't have even bread, but I guess they're going to just put all their money on bullets to come and shoot at us or something. Like, I don't know. There's so much propaganda. They want to keep us divided from countries. They want to keep, see, they don't want us moving around. They don't want us freely moving from country to country because we should be able to go and experience and meet all different people and have all different experiences. During the 60s and 70s, that wasn't that bad. See, that's when I was in school in the 60s and 70s. So that's when they were telling us, maybe they were trying to set it up. They were speaking it before it happened, kind of like the Simpsons. It's weird because I don't know. I just saw there's all these teachers, everything's dividing, everything is falling apart, everything's fracturing. And so, the teachers, I'm sure, are feeling attacked by everything that's going on. Like, there's so much going on. Or, in Canada today, they are having a huge, huge protest that is about the kids, but it's like anti the schools and stuff because they're the ones who are teaching all the kids all this weirdo stuff. Nobody wants their kids to be thinking about, um, their sex stuff when they're kids. Kids don't need to worry about sex. Kids need to go and have fun and be kids. So in the 60s and 70s, that's weird because that is when they were telling us. I think they would show pictures and stuff. But to me now, from all the stuff I've seen, they have used, I mean, they do it right now. What was it? There was a building in Ohio that supposedly, and this girl was like doing videos. She was there, and it just blew up or something or collapsed. This whole building, and I think it was Ohio, one night or one day, and then all these people. There was people stuck. There was a whole thing that was going on, and she kept videotaping it, and it was this bullshit with the firemen and the police and all that. And then they showed the same building in Russia, and it was being said that it was this other thing that happened to this building in Russia, probably a bombing or something. Oh, yeah, and what are you seeing over there about the fighting and the war stuff? Like, is there really any kind of evidence of fighting, or is this all just a big old show for all of us for, so that they can keep telling us why they have to give all this money over there? Or do you see any of that? Because I just saw something where somebody was saying there's all of the one side or the other. It's either the people in the Ukraine or the people in Russia that they're killing tons of the soldiers. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know. It all depends where Russia and Moscow and Petersburg are like countries of their own. There's cities in Russia that have been dirt poor for the last 100 years. And see, all that stuff has all been done on purpose. That's why all this money is going to go back to people. People have been so poor for so long in all these third world countries. All of these countries, they went in and made them poor. They went in and destroyed them just so that they could control them. So it makes so much sense for all this money to go back to the people, for people to get to go back and it is like like we get a reset. Like they're always doing these resets, but now we get a reset. We get what is that? It is I have this one word coming into my head, but I can't see it. But anyways, that we get a replay. We get it to go the other direction, a chance to see, what things can be. What could it be? What could it be if I didn't have to go to work all the time and I had plenty of money and resources were free? And it's so ridiculous. Like it should have always been that way. How they started charging us for things that were here, like charging us for land, charging us for water. I mean, it really would get to the point where they would start trying to charge us for air. Like anything that they can do, that they can try and come up with some sort of scheme or shenanigans so they can control us, they would keep going. They would keep going. It was only a matter of time before they would have us. Oh, Jesus Christ. We'd all just be some sort of empty shell skeleton people in a dog crate breathing on some apparatus or something. It would be like the Matrix. All they want is our energy. They don't care about anything else. And something else was just coming to my mind. But I swear to God, I hope this weekend, I just hope so bad this is the collapse. Hope this is finally gonna be the one that where we get a have change, where things are gonna actually change. So it would seem like we would see some kind of something, but on that X-Files report thing, it said that they would do it on a Friday so that nobody would be paying attention. So they'll close the banks on a Friday and then they wouldn't open back up on a Monday as all of the things collapse. So if they do, but see, on this one though, it is, I mean, you have one part that wants to hide it, but I think they've been the ones who've been fighting it. The other part is not going to want to hide it. Once and if it's really been going and they're just trying to get it so that we know that it's going. Because even though that one judge came out and said that debt is illegal and stuff, people keep paying. People keep paying all their debts. They keep paying their stuff. Even if their cards aren't going to work or whatever, they'll just keep paying. They're so programmed to care about their credit score and being a good person. Good people pay their bills. Good people pay their way. All of that stuff. So funny too, because I was singing the other day in an old movie. I was singing how integrity has kind of gotten lost, but it's kind of gotten bent. They've tried to make us go against our own integrity to support their delusion or something. So it's all so bent. It's also upside down. God, it's gonna feel good when this shit flips right side up. But the if the money thing, if it does go this weekend and then we start getting called in, it should be something we would see. Like there would be something like if you went to an ATM, it will not work. I'm like, I'm not gonna. My bank's not even here. My bank's 6.5 hours away, so I couldn't even go. I'll check my bank account and look. Every time I check, the only weird thing is like they just take out money. They still haven't put that money back. I'm gonna call them. Maybe I'll call them tomorrow. Yeah, I'll call him on the 22nd. So I'll call her tomorrow and ask about it, and then see what the bank says or something. But I don't know that any of these people know what's going on. It seems like so many people just have no idea what's going on. There's people who work in some of these places, and I think it's going to hit them just as hard as it hits anybody. They're not going to see this crash coming. They're just oblivious, like they don't have any idea what's going on. It also depends where. Oh, I already read that part. The banks are not working. That's not great. I have money in there. Don't keep any money in there. Like, where you're in Russia? Well, your bank thing has already changed. Like, I don't know, in Iceland, I don't know where your money is, but the banking system's going down. All the banks are going down. But there's going to be a whole thing that's going to change because we're going to get money back. But it's not going to, I don't know, guys. I've heard that they're going to replace the money you have too. So if you have like $2,000 in the bank or whatever, that they're going to make sure you get to keep your $2,000, but it's not going to be money like it was. It's not going to be like they're not going to give you some dollars. Those don't have any value. They're already worthless. Like, I don't know where you like America, our money is worthless. The dollar has already crashed. It has no value. It only is value here because the people don't know that it has no value anywhere else. So everybody keeps going to work to get something that has no value. And there's going to even be a whole part where there's going to be people who won't get paid. The people are going to find out, they've been working for free. That's going to be a big part too of helping people to prioritize like what you do with your time and stuff. It's all going to be painful things. It's all going to be hard things, but yeah, don't be. Well, I don't know. If you were in America, I would say don't save your money. Don't hold on to it. Spend it on stuff you need. Buy the things that you need to have for your life because it's crashing here. Unless you're on the gold standard, are you on the gold standard? Because that's the thing. The gold standard is bricks. If you're on bricks, then you're on the gold standard. But I would think that you guys would know because that is going on the quantum thing. So I'm wondering, like, are they just switching the countries over? And then once the countries all get switched, then they're going to start. But I mean, that report was saying that we're going to start getting called in and we're going to start becoming our own bankers. We're going to start having those things shift here. So, But your money hasn't changed at all over in Iceland or in Russia. And then banks too. The banks are all supposed to go down. I thought the banks already went down in Russia. I thought that was the whole thing that Putin even said, that the bankers had already gone down, that they're a part of the corruption. So, I don't know. This thing is slow too, so it's not like a normal conversation. I'm not in Iceland, nor am I in Russia. You're in, where are you? You're not in America, you're not in Iceland, and you're not in Russia. Nor am I in Russia. But what is your money system? Like, where do you get your money? Where do you bank? Where do you get your paychecks from? How do you get paid? What do you get paid in? It's another thing too, is it's not going to be in, what was it? I think Russia was rubles. And we're going to go into a standardized currency. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe even called freedom coins or something. I can't remember. It seems like it's something like that, but it's not going to be like if you are still on, is our currency is going to crash, so there won't be any more dollars, there won't be euros, there won't be rubles, there won't be all these different, the dinar, all these different ways of money, they're all going away. Are all going to go equal. It's not going to be trying to figure out like whose money has more value and what you need to take to another country. You're just going to be able to go and take your just money. It's going to be just the same. And whatever the places, I mean, the places can charge whatever they want. Like you could still go. It's not going to be like standardized. Well, if I paid for $10 for a shirt in Russia, then in China I should pay $10 for a shirt. Each place will be able to charge whatever they want for whatever they, it's going to be up to each person. Whatever you're putting out, you'll be able to decide what to charge for it. But there's just going to be one kind of money kind. It's not going to be all these different ones, but this is like everything's got to crash to get us down to the having the one. And then they've built so much up with the WHO and bullshit of the passport. Oh, and then they're saying, oh, we're going to give you a passport. It's not the same kind of passport because it's going to be this other kind of ID that we're going to get is going to be, I don't know, a global citizen. Like we'll be able to move around more freely. I don't know. I'm really curious to see. But because they have this other part where they're saying, the what is that? The passport that's based on compliancy. So if you do all the things you're told, if you jump through all the hoops, then you can move. You can go 10 minutes outside. Fucking Australia is doing that again right now in Victoria. Yeah, that guy is whacked out, man. He's got these people locked down. They can't go out. You can go outside 2 hours to walk 5 blocks from their house or something. It's like, fuck. This is what we don't want. We don't want these people telling us when we can move, how we can move, where we can go, where we can live, what we can do. That's why we have to break free from it. We have to support these immigrants all coming in, running wild and rampant and stuff. We have to support them because we all want to fucking be able to go do the same thing. We all want to be able to go run around and do whatever the hell we want. Fucking having the government tell us shit. But it's all going to collapse. So you watch. So I think that there's so much arrests and stuff going on, so much trials, because these people have done serious crimes like treason and all of that stuff. It's serious penalties. So it's like the people who we were trusted to run the country were going against us. So they've got big crimes. Like they're all going down. And there's no way that people are going to go back to that. People are going to be like, no way. And it's going to go down to smaller towns and, people. Like some place may not have a mayor. Maybe it'll have like 5 different dads. And you have to go and talk to them about stuff. And that's how that town wants to run it. Like it'll have all different things. Everybody's going to do things the way they want. There's not going to be all this federal law and stuff. Yeah, the like somebody telling you if you can go and take your baby out of your stomach without their permission, that won't be a thing. There's that because they shouldn't be able to see what we're doing. I should be between you and your maker. Has nothing to do with the government. Has nothing to do with their laws. It has nothing to do with them telling us what we can and can't do. It has nothing to do with them protecting us or keeping us from going to hell. They're waving their stupid ass Bible around, telling us to go and put our hand on it and swear to it, the will to always tell the truth. It's just such fucking bullshit, such fucking nonsense. Not nor am I in Russia. Universal income. Universal income will like our income will be more of it's not like universal. It's like there's a universal currency. There's going to be like a universal currency of, so we don't have all these different kinds of pesos, euros, dollars, all of that stuff. It will be this one thing. You can look up about it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's something called like Freedom Coin or something. And but it's all going to be those valued things will all be based on a real gold. So you'd have the coins that you can use. I don't think I think that there's gonna kind of be like kind of like the same concept as a Bitcoin or something, but there's something solid there. You can't oversell it. You can't jack up the price of the gold. Whatever you have, it has a set value that the whole world has set the value. Nobody can change the value. It's set at this price of what its value is. And so you have that value for how much ever ounces you have of whatever it is. And they're going to be giving us all in gold, as everything has been about gold. They've been hoarding all this gold. The Vatican had like 600 airplanes of gold, and the Chinese emperors and the old Chinese families and stuff, they had like underground tunnels where there was like 40, I think it was like 40 or 400 rooms that were just stacked with gold. All the halls, everything just stacked with gold. And so they took all of that gold. So they've confiscated all the gold from all these different places and stuff. They've rounded up the gold. And so then they figure out how much gold there is, how many people there is. And then all of the gold goes out. So, like different countries. So, first it goes to the countries. So, like Africa, they say, well, we have 2 billion people. And then, Iceland can say, well, we have 500 million people. And then, all the different people. And so all of the gold has a certain value. So then all of every single person's value is equal. So then it goes to the countries, and the countries are going to distribute it. And from what I had understood first was there was going to be a huge distribution over community building. So that's why there was a whole thing about, start thinking about where you want your communities to be. And they were going to be dumping tons of money into trying to build communities, or if you have a small business of something that you enjoy doing, not just a job, but something that you provide or something that you enjoy doing, something that you make or create or whatever. And you want money to do that, to make it bigger. There's going to be lots of money for that, for people who want to, turn their dreams into something. And then that, but you would be able to go to any place in our earth plane. You'd be able to go to any of the different land masses and use your money just regular. You wouldn't have to try and figure out, because it's all going to be equal. But so that is going to be like the universal. And then how much ever your value is, like everybody across the whole world, the nation or whatever, is all going to have a quantum account. So somebody's in Guadalajara and somebody else is in Ireland, they're all going to be on the same accounts. So everybody will have the same kind of quantum account. And so your quantum account will hold what your value is. And that's why I don't know if they're going to give everybody their whole value so quickly, because I think people's have a lot of value. And so that's why I think it's going to come in differently at first, where it's going to go into communities. There's going to be money there and stuff, but it's not going to be like, it makes more sense to me for there to be like a draw, like an account where you're getting payments. But I don't know, because then that's still someone else controlling it. So, and we just got to see how this all plays out. But the 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 banks are all going down. Like the banks will all be going down. I had heard that there could be some that are going to stay, but they won't be banks anymore. They're going to be more of like future planners or something, like places you can go in that will help you figure out like your own financing, how to do your own money and stuff. But there won't be a ton of them. There won't be like all over the place on every corner or something. But it will be like a place where you could go and have your gold held. in a safe or something if you wanted to do that. Like, it's weird because it's like going back, but on the quantum system, see, it seems to me that it's going to be like every country has this big giant lump sum of gold, and then we are put a certain value into our quantum system, and then we can pull on that money, but we won't really ever be touching the gold. It won't be like I mean, you could go somewhere and get some, but it's going to still be a lot of digital, uh, moving the money around, but there's actually going to be something there. Because right now there's nothing to value the money, the dollars, like all the different things. They back themselves into corners with the money, and so now when you have the quantum one, then I don't think you will be moving coins around. Like, I don't, there's supposed to be some sort of freedom coin thing. There's supposed to be some sort of coin. So there'll be something that we can use. But I don't know if you would go like to this bank situation, and that would be something that we would find out when we go to these redemption centers or whatever it's supposed to be, and how that would work, if you'll get like a certain amount of coins if you want to use them, or they're going to keep all the gold in the places so it's safe, but you have access to it, but it's only your account. Nobody can access it. Nobody can hack it. It's something that is like energetically or something. That's why I said about the scanning thing, is that there would be some kind of scan like that, but it isn't going to be like the same as what they were selling before on this, scanning us and us being part computer and having to live in 15-minute cities and having to be compliant to get a couple crickets to eat for the week and shit like that. This is going to be all about freedom, all about, and but the silver, see, so if you are doing, like, to me, you should be buying silver, especially like right now, how it's so cheap. Oh my gosh. You watch, it's so cheap right now, but it could be this weekend. And I'm curious to see if it did go down this weekend, and since I already made the purchase, if they would still send it out, because it's weird. Like, on the thing, it says that dollar has no value for silver, and then I just bought a bunch. So I don't know. We got to see how things all play out. But I would say get silver, but then you will have coins or whatever, like with the, like, say for instance, the silver I just bought that isn't here yet, when the house market drops, so everything is going to go flatline. It's going to just like plummet. And it's going to be like, oh, nail biter. And people are going to stress the fuck out. And then where it's going to land is going to stress them the fuck out too. Just the same way that people don't see this movement of freedom. They're going to see, of all everything they lost instead of what they gained. And so when the house goes down and your house is worth like $3,000 or $4,000, where it should have always been, it should have never been jacked up, then people are going to be sad and depressed and feel like they've lost everything. I've paid this house so long and now I've got nothing, and you got your house. And you don't have to pay anymore. It's done. You're done being paid for, and you're going to get money paid back to you because you got ripped off, because you had to pay that house. So you're going to get all this money paid back to you. There's going to be a whole thing about, because of the taxation, they're going to return our taxes to us. So we're going to get all that money back. Like, there's tons of money that is coming back to us. Like, I don't see how there would be working. Like, I even with Trump going down to talk to the motor vehicle people, I would think that is, even the car industry and stuff. Well, I think that is going to be, there's going to be such huge changes, because we're going to go to these hover cars or something. And but I think it's going to be, being more AI ran or something. There's not going to be people that are just going to go in and just work in uh, machine shops or conveyor belts or warehouses or whatever for all that time, wasting their lives away. If there is ones like that that need human help or whatever, it's going to be so much less. It's going to be, you're going to put way less time into that kind of work. It's going to flip. Like, how much time you put into it before is going to flip. And so uh, the job thing is going to be kind of even sovereign too. Like you would be able to have your own business or offer a service or whatever it is, and then you can decide how you're going to get paid. There's not going to be like a minimum wage or whatever. It's going to be different on that too. You can go and, your time is worth $50 an hour to you, and somebody wants to pay that, then, whatever service it is you provide, that's between you and them. It won't have to do with, the overseers saying who needs to be licensed, who needs to be seen, who FDA needs to come out and look at this, or EPA needs to look at that, or OSHA needs to check on this, all that bullshit. It's just going to be, you are going to be your own everything. And if you go get a job, it's going to be different. And then how you get paid, it would be, between you and that employer. The employers will pay probably with that quantum thing. But if you go and you start getting your own silver, your own gold, your own platinum, your own copper, your own whatever it is, then you would hold on to that. So it would be yours. You could go to like these redemption centers, I think, and put them into some sort of a safe or something. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but you would have your own. Then you could go out, like when I have this, it's going to come, and I go down there to Yakima, and I go and look around at the farms, and I'll really look at that map and really try and figure out like the area to see what would be the best place. But then I would be able to take that silver. And when the house, that's going to be one thing too, when the prices all go, it is going to be like right now, there's going to be with the collapse with the Airbnbs, there is going to be tons of those places that are going to open up, tons of places that are going to go for sale that people are just wanting to get rid of, and it didn't go the way that they thought it was going to go. So there'll be lots and lots of places they're going to go for sale, and then I will be ready because I'll already have the money, and so when people start trying to dump places and get rid of them, I will be able to go in and get one because I'll already be set up. But if they do that this weekend, if it really does go down like that, and they crash the banks on Friday, and then by October 10th, that is like, because that's going to be from the 22nd to the 10th. It's like a week and a half or 2 weeks or something, and they're going to have all that stuff done that fast. Like, look, that would be, uh, crazy, but, that will be a huge change for a lot of people. Is you won't have to sit here and worry about, where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, where you're going to live, and you'll have so much security, and it will really open up. And I wonder too, if they do take us into these redemption appointments or something, if they will kind of tell us like places to go and look at, to move to and stuff. Because I've felt like the whole time that those freedom cities that Trump was talking about, that those were going to be places that were in like safe zones, places that were going to still be there after, that are on the doomsday map. So they're covered under the doomsday map, but that they are still, in the land masses, but that they are trying to guide us, hurt us, without panicking and telling, we need to evacuate you, we need to get you over here because there's going to be a giant. Because I know that they've got to know. I think that they've got to know. They've got to know if it's going to be a giant earthquake that's going to come in, if there's going to be a couple volcanoes, there's going to be some tsunamis. Because they had the looking glass. I mean, Trump was saying such accurate shit. They fucking knew when RBG was gonna die way ahead. They said the exact date that she was gonna be, and she even died before that. There was even more stuff. Like there was so much stuff that they were so accurate on stuff. So, to me, they know a lot of the stuff, and I think one side wants us all dead, but the other side wants us all to get to experience life and freedom. And so there, I don't know. We'll see. I am, hopefully we will see this weekend. Hopefully we will see if they are going to start calling us in and they do start, pull out a map. Where would you like to live? How about one of these places? We got all sorts of cities and towns and houses that we're giving away. I don't know. We just got to see. It's just, it's so weird. Is that like moving all of these people? New York has got to be so crowded. Chicago, what a fucking mess. I bet you Seattle is a fucking mess. San Francisco, LA, I bet all these cities are just being bombarded. Plus in Arizona too, I bet you a lot of the cities are just bombarding them with all of these immigrants. And it's like they're trying to start something. They're trying to get some kind of thing going. I think they just really want to piss the people off and get the people to go out and start fighting with the immigrants so that they can call in the UN police or whatever. But I think it's going to get undermined. I just hope. I hope if the bank things start crashing, that just is going to change everything. Is then it's going to start being the people's reaction to what they're finding out, what they're learning. It's not going to be us under these same attacks. Like the people aren't going to go up and start spraying the skies. The people aren't going to, go put poison in the food and in the water and shit. And there's something going on with our water over here, the well that I've been going to. They have to keep cutting the pipe back. It's coming out slower. So they're doing something. It made me even think too, is like, I wonder how many cemeteries that they put on top of water, like how they're getting the water in the cities by seeping it down into the water cavity or whatever it is. And if the water is full of drainage of rotting and dead corpses and rotting plastic, uh, um, those things they bury them in, whatever those caskets, those things rotting away, if that is all seeping into the earth and that just keeps seeping down and it goes into our water, that's disgusting. I just heard somebody saying something about, because there was some cemetery or something and it was something with some water or something. The woman was like, I'm really worried now, like what is this, what's just seeping out of the caskets and into the water? And it's like, oh gross. Wonder if they purposely put uh cemeteries over the water platform or whatever it's called, the water thing. It wouldn't surprise me. I swear to God, these people are they're so into cannibalism and shit, They want us to eat all these dead people and stuff. They're so disgusting. Oh, thank you, freaks. Um, it's the witch nose. All right, you take that. No, I've been told I look like a witch a lot. Um, BR. Oh, be right back. I have people sometimes will say these things to me, like, kids or whatever. They'll say things to me and I have no idea what the little things mean. But I know what BRB means, be right back. I'm pretty sure. Be right back in less than 33. You can feel the tension in the air. Yeah, that's what I think, Terry, is like it's like we're right on the verge. We're right on the verge of something, the big change. It's going to be a big change. And I feel like it too. I feel like that you can feel like everything feels weird. It feels so weird. And just like the trucks driving by look weird. Everything just seems weird. It just is weird. Everything is weird. And it's weird energy. So, Buck, I hope, I swear to God, I hope this is the weekend where once that one thing goes, it's going to start changing everything, even though it's going to be, it's going to be hellacious. Like, even if it goes, like if it goes this weekend and you're in a bigger city like that, in the big cities and stuff, I think that they will just create like so much wild, like a giant disasters and tension, and like they will definitely try and set off some sort of a war thing if the bank things go down this weekend. If, unless they're all arrested and they got nobody, but they've got all these people on the streets, all these people who have got orders. So all of the instigators that are here, they have all got their part to play, because we still have the violence and the anger that's going to go on in the streets, that, just getting it to stop being poisoned, just one part of it. Still going to have like crazy people out there for a while. But at least once the stuff starts going with the money, then we're going to start being like, oh my gosh, things are just going to get so much better from here. It's going to get better and better and better. Hi. Hi, Aura. Um, and so I think it's going to be, I feel like at least that's good too, because then we just have like another day to wait to, so tomorrow I'm going to check on the bank. I'm going to call and ask about, well, are you going to give me that money back yet? And then see about if I notice anything about that. And then we have to wait the weekend. You could always run to any kind of ATMs and see, but it's all going to be individual too. You could go around to a bunch of ATMs and them still have money in them, because whoever owns the ATM may not know. And they may, you know, I mean, there's going to be so many things that are going to go that people don't know, that have got to, they're going to get like the a hard lesson. A lot of people are going to get, there's going to be a lot of hard lessons. That's why I think there's going to be people who are going to go to work and not get a paycheck. And there's going to be all sorts of stuff that'll go down. That's all going to be for their benefit, even though it's not going to feel like it, even though it's going to seem like they're all, like it's going to seem horrible to them. And that's why there's going to be so much this reaction where people are going to be so angry and violent. But once they calm down and realize, then they'll start seeing. But that, in that time, even though it seems kind of, I don't know, is it underhanded to go and try and get land when it's like, seems like the right time? If all of everything's going crazy and the land's there, it seems like, and if like I'll have the silver, so I won't have to wait for any redemption thing or go through any of that. And if they do give us the silver or the redemption thing right away, look, I would probably just see what lands are they going to be having, because I don't think that we're going to be buying it like that. I think it's going to be like, because selling the earth doesn't make sense. Like, the earth is not at the table. The earth is not saying, yeah, sell me. Like, that doesn't make any sense. To me, it would be more of like, you are dedicated, or you have this area that you can work and take care of, and as long as you're working and take care of it, it can stay in your family, and you guys can continue to work it and take care of it, as long as it's you're producing, your food and taking care of it or whatever. That it would just be your land, but it's not be like you'd have to pay for it. It'd be more like you have to pay for the structures on the property. So you would get and I think even the way that they show that with those people's houses burning down in Hawaii and then telling them that they're taking the land. I mean, it's so corrupt. But I think that um, kind of shows, though, that, the earth, the land is separate from the house. It's not the same. So I think that we will be able to go and put up houses wherever we want to, wherever we want to try and work the land, wherever we want to be or wherever we want to live. But I don't even know, like, there's so much about the homesteading and all of that, about going into agriculture and all of the herbs and stuff. But then we're also, I guess that could be like a storyline, because they're also going to a thing where I think we're going to realize we don't have to eat it all. So is anybody going to go out and just go and do a garden and grow all this stuff if they don't even need to eat? So that is where, going from the Flintstones to the Jetsons is like a big jump. We got to just kind of go and see what it's going to be, because maybe we won't need land to grow food. Maybe we just need a home base, just a home base, a community, and then the ability to travel around and do what we want to do. And the Judsons, they just ate those little pill food. So, and I'd be fine with that. Just give me a little pill food. Um, I don't need to have, um, big old giant dinner. And then plus, I kind of like that idea, anyways, of being able to eat like a cheeseburger pill. So you can eat a pill that you get the whole satisfaction of, like, to go back in time. Because there's lots of times I will smell like the cheeseburgers when I was a kid. When you went to like Dairy Queen or McDonald's or something, they were so good. And back in the 60s. And I don't know, fuck, who knows if they were hamburger or what they were then. I don't even know, but they were really good. And they would have all these little onions cooked on them and pickles, and they would be all perfect in the cheese. And they would be so good. Now, I would like to take a pill. Like, I don't want to go eat that stuff, but I would like to take a pill and to get that same kind of, uh, because you can't even go back to it. You can't go back and get that again. I just saw somebody else showing a video of their 50-cent cheeseburger. God, my butt is sore. A 50-cent cheeseburger or penny cheeseburger or whatever. And it was melting like the cheese. It was so disgusting. It's like, I don't know what the hell they've been feeding people on that. Let's see. Well, you rate yourself. 625, also salary on a bad day. Only a person who has lost a trail. I guess, I don't know. I don't know if some of these people, like, I don't know if they're talking to each other. I don't know if they're trying to talk and try and be rude to me. But that's the thing, see, with going live, is that they put people out, these instigators. They want to go in and attack people in the comments. They want to, they don't want us talking. They don't want us talking about the things we talk about. They want to put us down and ridicule us. And so they send people out into accounts and the lives are a big one. A bit lives, I saw it on TikTok all the time. They just have them go through the lives and then go in to them and then start attacking people in the comments, start ridiculing people. And that's why I said I needed to have a moderator before. And Debbie's going to be one, but she's not here today. But I mean, you got to kind of uh, ignore some of the people who, because you just got to see through it. You got to just realize, um, oh, life sex. We're just trying to figure it out. Okay, so like I know that they do send people out there to ridicule people and try and bring people down. They don't want us talking outside the box. They don't want us looking outside. They don't want us looking over the ice wall. I just saw somebody who I don't know how you could be out in a boat. Like, I don't know what it's like out around the ice wall or around the Antarctica or something. I don't even know how close you can get. These guys were on a boat, which seemed like too small a boat to me to be out there. It seemed like, ugh, I wouldn't be out in the deep ass ocean like that in that little boat. But so they were out in this boat and they were like laughing and stuff and seeing how far they could go. They wanted to see. I've seen people do this like at Area 51 too. But there is a giant ass naval fucking big ship and it sees them. I'm sure that it's on them on radar or whatever because they've got all that radar thing going. And so they start coming towards them. And as they're coming towards them, and these guys are all like, oh my God, they're coming. And oh, what are they going to do? What are they going to? They start speaking out over this giant megaphone thing and start threatening them and telling them they're in certain waters that they're not allowed to be in. They have to leave and all the same kind of stuff like they do if you get over by Area 51. If you go over by Area 51, they'll come out and take you. They'll come out and I don't even know what the hell. But so And the ship kept coming. It kept coming like right up to them, very intimidating, and telling them they had to go. And and they said they're out there monitoring the waters. Like they literally will not let us travel. They literally will not let us move around. And what was that movie? Because this one was recent. I just saw, and it was this weird movie. It was like this last three people on Earth or something, and it was supposed to be, I think, even Mars or something, or maybe they kept not showing what the country, what the place was. Like you didn't know for sure, but it looked kind of like parts of Arizona or Utah or Yakima or whatever. It was like deserty kind of, and the people are like living in this trailer kind of thing, and so then all the people get killed except for this one. And so she wants to go out and try and see what else is out there. And it was this same thing with this wall. Like you're never supposed to go past that. It's the same thing they did in the village. You're never supposed to go past it. Don't go outside of it, and keep us contained. They always want us contained. They don't ever want us, going out and seeing like, why can't we just go and see for ourselves? Like, what is it? Why do we need anyone overseeing us? Why do we need anyone telling us what to do, where to do it, how to do it, or anything? And but I thought that was so, well, I thought it was strange anyways that they went, but then I saw that other video where the guy was even on a smaller boat. 'Cause his seemed like a kayak or something. And that one, they were showing this other map of like this ice wall and the lands past it. And so he's going, and everything that is showing on the boat camera looks exactly like on this boat on this map that he's going on, and it looks like he goes out past, like there's openings in the ice wall, like it isn't solid going all the way around, and he went through an opening and went into where once you pass through, it's no longer ice. It was like land. It was brown and dirt and stuff, and I think it was called Thoth or something. So I don't know, but I know that when everything starts opening up, that is going to be when we get to start actually going out and moving freely like that, where we get to go out and see. And I know there's going to be differences on how we are moving, how we are allowed to, like the cars and the stuff that they got. It's like the Flintstones, and it's going to go more like the Jetsons, where we're going to have flying around, we're going to go way faster, we're going to get places way quicker. All their nonsense of control is going to change. And it's trying to figure out live stream of consciousness. If nice people, could figure out how to create the Amazonian dirt, by the way, that was man-made dirt in the first place. Oh, interesting. You know that when I went to uh, what is that? Because it's in Spain. It's a place where everybody always likes to go. Because we went to Portugal and we went to Barcelona. And so we went on this bike tour, which I thought she was so informative. But that whole beach was created. It wasn't even like that. They went and like got the sand from like Saudi Arabia. They created a whole beach in order to bring in tourists, because tourism and stuff is just, it's so strange. Like they went in and brought all this sand there and created a whole beach. Like this whole world is just, they're just creating all of this stuff, and we all think like it's like natural occurrences or something. I was really surprised. I really thought Barcelona, Spain beach. I thought it was really, would be a beach, but no. I don't know what, if it was all like rocky or whatever before, but they brought on all this sand. I don't remember all this stuff that she had said, but I remember what she said. Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. I remember that part. I was like, that's so crazy, because that's what they tell us that he did. And she said, no, he never even went there. He was going to South America. He was horrible down there, but he wasn't ever in North America. He was only in South America. So I don't even know how some of these stories get spread around. It's just weird. There's so much, like, they tell us all different stories. They tell us all like it's just a one big giant fat ass lie. Everything's just a big giant fat ass lie, I think. Chicken is so different. That's what I kept thinking. I wonder if that could be what's making Stella sick, the chicken, because it's so weird. And then where people are saying like there's even selling like cancer, like when you go and you buy the chicken already cut up, that's a dangerous thing. You shouldn't buy the chicken cut up because they cut it off of cancer chicken and stuff, and then they sell it. And that you should get the whole chickens, but there was people who were getting the whole chickens and they were still finding cancer in the chickens. And but they do all of this stuff. If you even get real chicken, they do so much stuff to it. Like even after they take the chicken, they go and shoot it full of a bunch of stuff. They shoot it full of saline to puff it up. They shoot it full of like antibiotics and stuff. And then plus like what all do they put in shit? Because that thing with the watermelons, I still think that was so weird when those watermelons were exploding and all that liquid was coming out. I've never seen so much liquid in a watermelon. Like, what in the world? What chemicals are they putting in all this stuff? It's just turning into some sort of liquid and just going into some sort of uh, fuck, I don't know, but there's definitely the chicken. And then I also had fed her some steak and stuff when we were on the the last weekend when we were on the trip, and she ate some steak. And because I give her chicken all the time, I used to give her pork all the time, but then the vet said that's probably why she's overweight. But everybody keeps always makes fun of her. They always say that she's still fat. I think she looks skinnier, but she's just a big girl. She's a big beefy girl. But anyways, now I give her chicken all the time. Yeah, I've definitely noticed there's fucking chickens jacked up, and it's creepy too. Some of it, like I've seen some on people getting it. I think it makes a difference over where you get your chicken too. The safest place is to grow your own, and then or to go to a local farm and get it. But the price is so expensive that most of us can't afford it. That's what these corporations have done. Get us in there buying this cheap food, and then they jack the food and fuck all the food is all fucked up. Who's racing chemical-free yard birds? Over here, um, hey, greetings from North Wales. Over here, there's lots of little farmers and stuff, but still, it's not enough uh, to supply everybody. It's like even the small farms, it seems like it's more of like their own supply. Uh, I think you have to have a lot of fucking chickens to be able to sell, especially at the rate that they're eating. Like if we had to go out and kill our dinner, we would not eat that much of it. There's no way. I don't think there's no way. Well, I don't know. I guess they used to. But did they? Did they every single fucking week go out, every single day, go out and kill a chicken for dinner that night? Or was it like, well, have chicken once a week or something? They sure the hell didn't go out and kill their cow. They couldn't have kept up with that. Kill a cow. Because if you killed the cow, so if you raised a cow, because I know somebody over here who did it, and then you take it into the butcher, and then you get all the meat divided up and separated and wrapped and stuff. But back then, they didn't have refrigerators and freezers and shit like we do now. So even they had whatever with the salt. There's something about salt to keep stuff going, and then I don't know. There are other kind of storage places that how they stored stuff, but still, I don't think they'd waste a whole goddamn cow. Like if I had my own farm, I would have like a dairy cow, but I wouldn't have a cow to eat. And then I would have goats for sure because I like goat cheese and goats, but I wouldn't eat them. And chickens for the eggs, but I wouldn't eat the chickens. But if you were gonna be eating the chickens, you'd have to be buying them all the time. You'd have to be raising them and buying them. I don't think. And I was at somebody's house one day, and they killed a chicken for dinner. It's disgusting. It's gross. And then you have to sit there and pull all the feathers out. Like that may go down in some other countries, but in America, Like, we go and we buy like, if we even go and get some chicken and it has a couple feathers left on it, we will feel like, "Oh my god, this is disgusting. There's a couple feathers on this chicken. This is gross." And, like, I can't imagine a bunch of people who are so entitled would be able to go out and chase the chicken down, kill it, then my mom said back on the farm when she was a kid, when you would chop off the head of the chicken would run around bleeding and shooting out blood and stuff. Like, it's a very dramatic scene. So and I definitely don't think that people would just be killing cows right and left if you're raising them. I knew somebody who did that. They got a cow, and I don't know if they were raising it and they thought they were going to raise their own food, but whatever happened, they stopped eating cow from that point on, because all of a sudden, then when they started raising the cow, they started having a relationship with the cow, and they started seeing the cow had intelligence, it had a personality, it had all sorts of stuff. And this is what I see all the time with the people with the chickens too. Like, they've all got names, they love their chickens have personalities. Like, most people who are got out there having chickens are doing eggs. They're not killing them to raise them to kill them. Like, I just think there's gonna be changes in that. I just can't. I don't think that everybody's gonna be out there killing their food. If it comes down to that, I can see a lot of people growing their food, but I don't see a lot of people killing their food. There's some people though who do it all the time. I mean, there's hunters and stuff that go out and hunt for food. They can kill it. So there'll be some people that would do it. But I don't think just like the regular, like, I don't know anybody who would go out and kill their dinner. I can't think of a single person. Like, there could be people like I barely know, and maybe they would do it, but I don't know. How many of y'all would you go out and kill, especially if you've been raising it like a pet and you've named it and shit? The uh, the chemical free is all the chickens and the stuff here that we would be buying in the stores, they are all jacked up with chemicals. They don't sell anything healthy to the food in the stores. That would be defeating their own mission statement of poisoning us daily, making us sick. They've got lobbyists, they've got these pharmaceutical paybacks, all their kickbacks. They got to be making us sick. They can't go against that, so they have to pump all the food full of poison. But I'm just seeing things are going to be changing, and then plus the big thing about the changing too is us realizing that we aren't flesh and blood. The whole thing about them telling us that we're flesh and blood and we need to eat, and we need a food pyramid, and we need this and that, and then to find out like that was lies, and then people are all obese and sick, and I think there's going to be a lot of big changes on a lot of things. But there's also the whole thing, like, because right now I'm sitting here, I feel like I'm starving to death, and I gotta still eat. So it's like my body still tells me to eat, even though I keep telling it it's a hologram. I'll say, look, you're a hologram. You don't really need to eat. And it'll say, well, the parasites do. Parasites are in here and they're demanding food always. So I don't know, but I still feel like that is going to be changing. That we're going to, because I thought about before where I kept thinking, well, we'll all get land, we'll have farms, and we'll all grow our own food and stuff. But really, once you start really realizing about this whole hologram thing, then and I just saw a thing too where Alex Jones was on Joe Rogan, and he was talking to him about the hologram world and what the scientists are saying. They've all determined, yes, that we're a hologram or something. And so when we, really can figure that out, I mean, what would be the point? Like, we don't need to feed our pictures. Like, why would we need to feed ourselves? And that to me frees up even more time. Like we don't have to go around. But then I see the food pill, like when you just are like, man, I'd really like a cheeseburger. I remember those cheeseburgers back in the 50s were so good. You just want one of those. And you take a pill and it gives you that whole experience of having that cheeseburger. So you felt like you just had one. Like, I don't know. That's what it was like on the Jetsons. So you don't go eat a pill for a whole Thanksgiving dinner. And look at it, like you don't have to go and make all the Thanksgiving. You don't have to clean it up, but you still get the satisfaction. But then there is even, well, do you even need that? Do you even need any of that? You know, because I definitely, I got pictures hanging on the wall and I don't go up and try and feed them and they stay just fine. So I'm pretty sure without food, I would stay just fine. I think that the reason we don't is because we think we don't, because we're told we don't. We're told we're going to starve to death. We're told we're going to die. They're always telling us what's going to make us sick. You're going to die. You're going to die. But we're the ones who create it. We're the ones who make it happen. They just tell us what's going to happen. It's weird though too, is how they could feed us so much poison and without us knowing it, and that we were getting sick. That's just always trips me out. But see, they know somehow with their science stuff. They know how to. It all goes together. Something with the frequency, the chemicals, our body's reaction to certain things, certain stimuli. I just saw this was kind of cool because it looked like just a picture of a bunch of women standing like on a New York street, and all wearing some kind of a black dress. So when you're looking at the picture, it just looks like these women all standing, posing like a bunch of models or something in black dresses posing. But then, and I don't even know what happened because I don't even think I was looking at it the whole time. I think I was looked at it and then I was doing something. Maybe I was brushing my teeth. And then when I looked back, all I could see was Obey. I couldn't see the girls anymore. But I was listening to him and he was saying that then when you see, this is like the same thing with waking up, when all of a sudden you see the subliminal messaging because it's all around us, because the way that they do the ads and stuff, the way they line them up and stuff, there's a hidden message that we don't catch on to because we're just focused on the other thing that they're showing us. And Elon Musk had just done that too with one. He was showing one and he said, turn your head and then you see the picture. This one, I think they were saying blink, but I could see it as soon as I looked over at it. I could see it and it said obey clearly. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. I could not see the girls anymore. I couldn't see them in the same way. Just like on all those pictures, where it's like, look at the picture and what do you see? And maybe you see a rabbit, maybe you see a girl's face, maybe you see, a hat, all those different things. But then every time you look at the picture, you just keep seeing that. You can't unsee it once you see it. So, but there is so much about the subliminal messaging that is around us that is kind of guides us and controls our minds. And there's so much that has to be breaking free from that. I think there's reasons why the whole education system is kind of corrupting and falling apart right now, but there's so much about that of them corrupting our minds and putting it into programming and how that they programmed us. And as what's weird is like, did the teachers not know? That's where it's like, are the teachers all MK Ultra'd to take the job so they don't recognize? Because why don't they recognize what they're doing? Why don't they catch themselves and say, no, you should be a free thinker. No, you should ask questions and stuff. Why do they want everybody to go into this mindless, don't ask questions, don't question authority, don't think for yourself, do what you're told? Um, you know is that there's like a lot of people who have been out in the system participating in that way to get us to mind, to stay attached, to not question things, to not, don't talk outside the box, don't speak about things that shouldn't be spoken about. It's, just like in The Village, just like in all the things. But in that one movie, when the girl finally gets out and goes, and then she goes past the part where they told her, there's nothing out there. The world is ended, like you're going to fall off the planet if you go out that. And so she went and she did it and she went out and it was like the whole world opened up, and then she had to go out, kind of like in Truman at the end, when he goes down and he has to make that decision. Do you go out towards the unknown, or do you stay in where you're safe and controlled? Or do you go out and see what's possible, what's out there? And that's what we all need, this opportunity to be able to go out, to fucking take any dangerous boat, I guess, and go out. I can't believe all of the boat stuff I keep seeing, with that one little boat with a big giant Navy boat coming after it, and then the boat with all the people out there getting footage of the ice things going. Like, that just seems so dangerous. And then the little tiny boat. Then how many of these little boats with the orcas? Like, there's a whole. And there's this one guy, he was just on his little boat and he was doing footage, and this thing was swimming up to his boat is so fast, and he was so scared. And then it swam around him, but it had something attached to it. And it seems like to me that there's so many uh, animals that are coming to humans, like they know our garbage is on them. They know we need to take our garbage back off of them or something. It seemed like to me like something was coming to him to try and get help from him. But he was so scared he wasn't going, I don't know, maybe there's more video and he did do something. Maybe he tried to figure it out. But it seems like that there is a lot of animals having, like just the other day, there was a bear that got, I don't know, I think they had to put it down or something. But and when they did, it was so full of garbage. Oh my God, it had been eating like empty plastic bottles and stuff. And somebody did a video talking about that, and then somebody responded and they said, well, in Colorado, that's what the bears are all down here, they're going through our garbage, they're going in and eating our garbage, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't, because the one person in the video thought that people are just going out camping and leaving all their garbage out in the camp spots, and the bears are eating it. And this person was like, no, they come down and eat our garbage. But see, that's the thing, is like, there's so much of our garbage that is so toxic to all of nature and stuff. I've seen videos where, I mean, when you have a can, all your cans, you should make sure you pull the lid off of all your cans. All of the plastic things, you should take everything that is plastic apart. Don't, because animals are constantly putting their heads in. They're putting their heads in all these things and trying to get food out, and then they can't get out of them. So anything that an animal can fit its head in, you should cut it apart or cut a slit in it or something so that they can get themselves out. Like, just cutting a slit, that wouldn't even do that much because they can't use their hands to pull it. Like, they need a big opening. And uh, but man, there's so much different videos of animals getting trapped and stuff, getting trapped with their faces in cans, their faces in all sorts of stuff. And I don't know, it just is, it's sad. It's just sad. Like, it's the way these people all just got to push all this plastic and this artificial shit on us. And it isn't just hurting us. These people just want to make money, 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 money off of everything, no matter how toxic it is for us, for the environment, and for all of the other natural beasts on this planet. They just hurt everything and they just don't care. Like, there's no line that they won't cross. Like, they don't care if the animals all get killed. And it's so sad just now, like, even driving around and how much roadkill there is. Like, all these animals keep coming down. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Everything is changing. Everything is going crazy. So things are, all the energy is, oh no, it's this big buildup. But fuck, I hope this is the end of the buildup. I hope this is the release. I hope we're at the time of the release, man. I swear to God. We are the dreams of God, and He doesn't want to wake up. Who's raising the. Well, we are kind of like universal consciousness. We are the universe experiencing itself. But I don't think it's about God not wanting to refuse that, wake up. I think the people, everybody needs to wake up to their own spiritual side, the side of them that is the real side. It's like the side of the people that people have been in denial of. They just focused on the part of life that they could see and the part that the people talk the most about instead of focusing on the part that you feel and the part that's real, because what you feel is what's real, is the the spiritual experience. That's real. The spiritual side of life, everything you learn, everything, all of that. And we're in a spiritual experience, we're in a spiritual life, but so many people just don't realize it, and they try and live like without any acknowledgement of their spirit. But I don't think like God's refusing to wake up or anything, but I do think it is like this giant kind of body, like this giant consciousness, and we are all the thoughts of the consciousness. We are all the synapses that creates it, that makes it what it is. Like we are all the thoughts. We are all of the but but it's us that make up the God. It's all of us are what makes there to be a God. There is no God without all of us. So we all are God when we all come together. It's like we're the cells of God, but when we come together all together, then we make up a whole and giant entire being that we would be called God. I think that's where they come up with the source and stuff, the source of where we all come from, and the energy source where we all get all our energy and stuff. So, anyways, how long have I been talking? 146 minutes. What is that? 90 minutes is an hour and a half. 90 and 90 is 180, so 140. So it's like 2 hours. This has been 2 hours too. So uh, I'm probably gonna go. We are dreams. The Truden Show, brought to you by Dan Beck. To you, peace, Dan. Anyways, but I'll do this again tomorrow. I'll come back and talk about some stuff. I didn't talk more about the chakra thing as much. I'll talk some more about that tomorrow, though, Terry. If you want me to, I'll talk more. I mean, it's not like I'm an expert about the chakras, but it is a good thing to learn about, because it is the raising of the kundalini. It all is all about the healing. There is all of this activation that goes on in this chakra system when you do activate them, and it does have certain healing and stuff that all goes with it. But any of the time when you're feeling like your heart's going crazy and stuff like that, just try the cayenne, because you don't want to completely ignore your heart stuff. Like, you don't want to just completely ignore things and say, well, it couldn't be that, couldn't be that. And so just, I think the cayenne should let you know right away. Just do the little bit of cayenne. And if your heart just stays still doing the same thing, then it's just you're activating your heart center is feeling things, it's doing things. And it isn't just like one time. To me, it happens like a bunch of times, a lot of different times. And I don't know, have I even had that in a while? It seems like I did have some sort of heart chakra thing sometime. I don't know. They can all just come at different times. Like, and I don't know. Uh, Moving up into the throat, when we still, you got, even if you don't speak your truth publicly, you still got to It still is something to speak your truth to the people who are around you, to, speak up to how you feel about things and stuff. So no matter what your truth is, you still have that whole, um, that whole thing of moving up into that. And then that'll go with it too. It's like it'll start going together. Like you'll feel it will go back it down through your heart. You'll want to speak something like there's movement. And then there starts being movement up in here too when you start opening your crown chakra, which that one to me was just really strange. It just felt like my whole top of my head was just like opened up, where it's just like a party all the time. It's weird. But anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm just giving, got a headache or something. Maybe I do get tired of talking at some point. How many hours have I talked now today? But anyways, I do kind of have a headache. Oh, but this does keep me from oh, it's only 1:57. I was gonna say it keeps me from taking an afternoon nap, but I guess not. Maybe I will take an afternoon nap. Maybe I will lay down and watch some kind of show. I still couldn't figure out what it was that I wanted to say earlier about that one. But anyways, I'll just keep talking. I'll just sit there and just keep talking and talking. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.